Some things are still wrong even when you have the best intentions. Some people are still doing wrong even when they're trying to do right. I think a great example of this is when people get all argumentative and just dismissive and just love to fight and love to try to prove themselves, in the comment sections, trying to just spend hours just going back and forth, just being like, no, you're wrong and you're not saved and all this. And it's like, this isn't good fruit. We're always supposed to be doing something that has good fruit. And yes, even though your intentions are probably good, that you want to help them, ultimately, at the end of the day, when it really comes down to it, when you really think about it, most of us are all just gonna keep believing what we already believe anyways. At least when it comes to situations like that where you're just fighting back and forth about who's right, it's just like, this isn't really gonna help anyone. This is just causing division, and division is so bad. We're pulling each other apart, not getting closer. The goal is always to get closer to brothers and sisters, not further. Let's not cause division. Let's not fight back and forth. And yes, if someone's genuinely like spreading lies or misinformation about God or something, if we see someone intentionally sinning and they don't fully realize, don't know that it's sin, yes, we're supposed to correct them. And so many people love to say, oh, the Bible says don't judge, but then they don't read the entire rest of the chapter that actually tells us that we are to judge, just not in a certain way. We're supposed to judge righteously, which means that, like, if you see someone getting drunk, that maybe they're new to Christianity or something and they didn't know that it was wrong. Well, you are to tell them that it's wrong, and it's up to them whether or not they want to accept that or not. But you are to tell them that. You are to judge righteously. And, there's just so many people, even with good intentions, are still doing wrong. And I'm guilty of that. I'll say that. There's been far too many times where people are just coming after me, telling me that I'm wrong about certain views, and it's hard not to. I'll admit that. I'll be honest. Like, it's hard not to be like, yeah, but look, it says it right here. How are you not seeing that? And it's like, I don't know, but sometimes you do just need to dial it back and just let it go. Like, as hard as it is, sometimes you just need to let people just talk their ear off and just not say anything, because no good fruit's going to come out of just arguing back and forth. Someone needs to hear this. Someone really needs to hear this, because so many people are doing this. And like the TikTok lives, I can't tell you just how many people do that, where they have lives. I'm sure many of you have seen this, where they're like, let's debate, is God real, or whatever, certain things about the Bible, what's actually true. And they're just there to debate, and it rarely goes well. Like, it's always just people arguing and fighting, and even with good intentions, it still ends up being bad fruit. It still ends up being wrong. So let's not intentionally cause division and fighting and arguing. I get how the thinking goes between wanting to help someone know the truth, but ultimately most people aren't going to listen. Believe me, most people just want to believe what they want to believe. And as hard as that is to, deal with, accept, it's like, that's just the reality. And I'm by no means going to tell you that I am flawless, and there's likely been things that I've believed or said that I needed correction on. And I'm willing to admit that I'm not perfect. I'm not going to get everything 100% right. And I'm not here to tell you that, oh, everything that I say is always going to be 100% for sure. As long as it's not like a major salvation issue that I'm preaching, it's going to be okay. you know? Like, imagine if I was like, oh, Jesus didn't have a purple sash, he had a red one. And then people were like, oh, no, you're not saved because you didn't get the color of his sash right. It's like, he might not even had a sash, you know? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of a silly example, but like, some people are just way too quick to fight about things that ultimately it's not worth it. You don't, just let it go. Some people need to let it go. Please. When you see someone that has a different viewpoint than you, that's not a major salvation issue, you just need to let it go. And even if you do talk to someone about different views, never let your feelings get in the way. Because so many people, they're just fueled by their feelings. They're like, oh, I'm so angry that they don't get it. I'm so angry that they're like, you're just fueling each other. You're just getting mad and angry, and that's not Christ-like at all. Can you imagine Jesus doing that, where he's like, oh, you don't get it. I hate you. You're not saved. Get away from me. I don't know. But let's just be Christ-like, and always keep that in your mind, to just let things go. Sometimes it's not worth it. Sometimes it is even wrong, even with good intentions. So I hope this blessed someone. God bless you guys. Peace.